Guys, welcome to Life in Motion. This is my John Cooper Works and this is really simply how I wash my car. Let's get started. So the first thing I start with is the wheels. I use a water-based cleaner just to get all the dirt and the grime off before I start the rest of the car. So what do I do with this water-based cleaner? Well, it's water-based, so it doesn't damage the alloy, that's important. But I spray it all over the wheel, make sure to get all the little indents in the wheels, make sure I get all the bits of detail in there. And then I'll spray it over there and leave it for about 1 to 5 minutes. In that time, it should start to go a little bit red, which kind of signifies that it's ready to then be jet washed off. And once it's jet washed off, you'll then see the results. They are a lot of the grease and the grime and the brake dust will come off the wheel. And then I'll use a little brush just to get all the bigger bits off that may not have come off from the water-based cleaner. So it's only been on there about a minute, maybe a minute and a half, and you can start to see it is really starting to turn red. That signifies a lot of brake dust. This is the front one, so obviously it's working a little bit harder, but it's really starting to look good. Just make sure that you don't let it dry. So in a few minutes I will then get the jet wash and wash it all off, and then you'll be able to see the results afterwards. Well, how about that? You can now see, once I've jet washed it all off, look how good it all looks. It looks really glossy. All of the dirt, the brake dust is all gone. Actually, I cleaned this car not too long ago, so actually I probably don't need to go over it too much. But there's, you can see, look, there's no grime on my finger doing that. So yeah, it's a really good job. So I'm just going to go around, make sure there's no more dirt on there, and then we'll move on. So I've just rinsed the car very lightly with just some water, just kind of get all the kind of break up the surface dust. I'm now going to use the snow foam, little hopper thing I've got. It's just an attachment, goes onto the jet wash. I fill up this with the snow foam, and then yeah, I just kind of adjust that how I want to. But let's get snow foaming. So now the car's been snow foamed, I'm going to grab the jet wash and just jet wash all of the snow foam off. Then I'm going to get a mitt and start washing. Okay, so I've rinsed all of the snow foam off, so now you can just see it's a nice clean surface for me to then go and get the mitt and wash the car. So let's get stuck in. What I'm going to do is come over. I've already kind of mixed it, but what I use is this kind of Auto Gleam shampoo. To be honest, you don't actually have to use Auto Gleam. It's a little bit expensive, but it's up to you what you want to use. But that just kind of works for me. And you can see I just put the mitt in there, and I keep it nice and soapy. Make sure there's nice lots of bubbles and things in there. I think this is about 2 capfuls, which is absolutely fine. And then I'll just put my hand in there and get to washing. So let's get stuck in. So I'm just going to start at the top. And I'll work my way down. And to be honest, it's up to you how you kind of use the mitt, how you want to do it. This is kind of like one of those little, it's not microfiber, but it's one of the ones so it stops the kind of grit and things getting stuck into it. Obviously you need to keep it clean, so make sure you keep cleaning the mitt. To be honest, I'll just put it in the washer. But yeah, I start at the top, work my way down. Just so when I then rinse it off, I can start at the top again and then work my way down. So yeah, that's what I'm going to do. I often leave the kind of grubby bits to last. I kind of try and get as much of the paintwork clean as I can, and then I'll leave the kind of sills around the arches a little bit later once I've done most of the car. So otherwise I'm going to spread all the dirt and it's just not going to be good. So now I've kind of washed it all with the mitt. I'm going to wash it all down and then we're going to get onto the drying stage. So yes, on to drying. What have we got? Well, Some obviously use different cloths. There are loads of different options to use, but I think a chamois always works really well. So what I'll do is I'll wash out the bucket I used previously for the soapy water. I'll fill it up with clean water, and I will then pop the chamois in. It will be dry. I'll pop it in, and over a couple of minutes, once it's absorbed all the water, obviously then goes all soft, I'll then squeeze out all the water as much as I can, and then I'll get onto the car. I'll keep wiping the car down. Once the chamois fills up with water, I'll then squeeze it out again, go back to the bucket, rinse it with some clean water, squeeze it, and then I'll go back to the car, and I'll keep doing that repeatedly until the car is dry. So I put the camera down so I can just kind of get a better feel of it. So you can see all the water is going. That's kind of the idea of the chamois, that it absorbs all the water to try and get as much as you can off, because eventually you will make the car look brilliant. So just that one little panel, you can now see how much water has come off. You can see compared to the other side, if I just come over here, compared to this side with you see all the bubbles of water still, compared to this side, you know, basically it's near, what, 80% gone, 90% gone. All I need to do now is just get the microfiber cloth and just go over it, just make sure that it doesn't leave little kind of marks of water. Can you see the little droplets? Yeah, there you go. You can see the droplets of water where it's actually dried. Now, today is that Easter weekend, and it's super hot. It's in the 20s, and unfortunately, the air is quite warm, and so it's drying off the car, even though it's not in the sun, really quickly. So, what I do in this situation is something really simple. All I do is I go and get some more water. I'll just splash over the area that's kind of all dried up, and then I will just kind of wipe it down again, get the chamois, and then basically kind of quickly is one of the things you shouldn't really take your time with. You should kind of get over it to try and get at least all of the marks out, and then you can kind of go back over as I'm doing now. Also in my car, there's not massive amounts of swirl marks, but there are swirl marks. Now swirl marks often happen when you've got a mitt or you've got a sponge, whatever you may use, and you're obviously going over the car, and even if you try and keep that mitt as clean as you can, it's going to have a bit of grit on it. It's just going to happen, and those swirl marks are basically just a little bits of grit in that, and when you're obviously going around with your water and your shampoo, trying to get all the bits of dirt off, you're also rubbing in little tiny bits of gravel from your mitt or your sponge into the paint. That then obviously scratches it, and that's where you get the swirl marks. Often you kind of do that circular motion, that's where you kind of see those little swirl marks appear. There's actually one guy called Stuart F1 Wax, who's, you know, if you follow his Instagram, I'll put it below. It's absolutely fantastic. He does such good work. You see all the cars he does. So I definitely get Stuart F1 Wax to do your paint correction, and then a ceramic coat on top to protect it. Also means that your maintenance washes, your weekly washes, are just a little bit quicker, a little bit easier, because it often runs off a lot quicker. So yes, I definitely look at the link below. I'll leave his Instagram below so you can have a little look. But anyway, I need to get back to drying off the car. So if you've liked this video, make sure to like it so other people can find it, and make sure to subscribe to see future videos similar to this one. I hope you guys have enjoyed it. Again, I'm Jack, and this is my YouTube channel, Life in Motion.